Okay, hi everyone. For today's review, we are going to be taking a look at this guy here, which is Transformers Combiner Wars Armada Megatron, who is a repaint and a slight retool of the original Combiner Wars Megatron, which is done up in the G1 colors. And as you can see, well, first off, before we do a comparison, joining me in this review is my dad.
Hello. Howdy. So we're also going to be doing a comparison between this one and this one, because this one has got some cues off of this one here, the G2 Megatron, which when I started looking at it, then I saw little cues that they took off of the G2 Megatron and put it into this one.
But obviously, as you can tell, if we can get this a closer look, you can see that this is obviously supposed to homage the original Armada Megatron, because there's no like camo paint like the Generation 2 version does.
So we're going to be taking a look at both of these, and like I said, there's a couple interesting things that's going on with both of these. They're different but the same in a couple of aspects. So that's the reason why I have G2 Megatron out, and then we have this Megatron too. So we're going to get on to the review.
So here is Combiner Wars Armada Megatron in his tank mode, and while it does look like a great tank mode, it's not really like show accurate, because in the show he was in H tank, but here he's just a regular tank mode, but it still looks nice.
It still looks good. Perfect Decepticon symbol right there for a Decepticon. Where this is some of the comparison that we're going to get off into. The G2 Decepticon symbol is on top, and it's on the side right there
with the numbers.
So that's just one comparison where they put the Decepticon symbol
right here
on the turret.
On the turret, yes.
So I think all in all, it does look like a good representation of a tank.
Not a representation of the Armada Megatron from the cartoon.
Now, was the Armada tank, was it gray? No? Okay.
The Armada version, like I already told y'all, was in H tank.
H, okay. Okay.
And so was the original toy. But here, he's just a normal tank.
Okay. A normal tank. Okay, and of course we have ports right here for the little mini-cons. That's what those are, right?
Yes.
Yes, for the mini-cons.
That you can attach on to. Oh, and he is supposed to come with a little gun here that does split into two, but I don't have that. I do have it, but it's somewhere where I have to look for it. But you can attach it onto these two ports here, and you can also still attach it when it's combined together and still attach them onto these ports here.
Okay.
Oh, and he also has another Minicon port on here.
Okay.
And he does have some teal here. And also some teal on the sides of the tank. And also on the turret here. Oh, and he also has some teal here. And a little bit of yellow here.
So I think that's neat where the turret can move back and forth from side to side. That is awesome. That is awesome.
And the turret can rotate.
Oops.
But it is coming apart. There we go. But it can rotate all the way around on a ratchet. And also, he does roll on these treads here, and these treads are made out of rubber.
Yeah.
And these are working functional treads here on the front and on the back here. And he does roll like he does roll, but you just like have to push him down to try to get these treads to move. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
It's stiff. They do work, but some of them are just stiff. Where the G2 Megatron, his treads don't move at all. They're just plastic, all one piece cast.
But he does have little wheels on the bottom.
And that's what makes him roll, is these little wheels right here. So, with this Megatron, they did a pretty good upgrade compared to G2. And when we get off into the transformation, I'm going to show you a couple of things that's similar from this one to the G2. Now, his cannon cannot move up and down, right?
No.
No, his cannon does not move up and down. One thing his cannon can do is it can shrink. It can go actually in.
Like that.
Like that. Or you can... There's a stopping point right there before you pull it all the way out. And then that's all the way out. So, he has a long barrel. And one thing that is familiar with this one compared to the G1 is that it can fire.
A little orange missile, which is right there. And to fire it, you just push on this trigger here, and that fires it out.
Where the G2 has a firing mechanism in it, but it can go up. And then this one here talks, so
well, it does make sound effects.
that's to click it, and then you push this button back here. It makes a noise. And there's actually a slot right here where you would put in the missiles for the top of it. So with both of these, you have a fire mechanism for both of them that shoots out of the barrel. So we're going to back this one out. That's one similarity.
And also, you do have some options in tank mode, and that is you can leave this part down, but you can also like fold it up. And this does tap into these two purple tabs into these things here. If they do.
So Megatron has had a bunch of...
I don't think this taps in. I think it just sits there.
Okay.
And that there are like there are supposed to be like tabs here, but those have been removed because this would allow you to tap it into the pegs that were supposed to be there onto this piece, but those have been removed.
So we're going to do a size comparison right quick with the G1 and G2. We're going to stand them up side by side.
Oh, and
Nope. Go ahead.
if you have this flipped up, that does hinder the turret rotation.
Kind of locks it in place. Keeps it from moving. Okay. Well, I'll put these side by side. Now, the G2 Megatron is just a little bit longer than the other one. And you can see by the barrel and the height right here. But by looking at them, you can tell where the design is almost exactly with the barrel separating the arms. They did the same thing here. The barrel separates the arms. And you'll see that in transformation, where the G2, you have the arm right there and the barrel splits the arms. It's the same for this one here. The same exact. So I'm wondering, did it take the cues from this one and just transformed it and put it into this format too? It's a question. But I noticed that when I was looking at it, I was like, this has similarities between G2 and this one here. A couple of them. Except for mine can talk. This one can't. Okay, go ahead, Colton.
And he still does work. So, I think it's now time to transform him. So to get him transformed, you do want to make sure that this piece here is folded down. And you want it folded down all the way to about here. Now, okay. You do want to take these things, untap them. Well, take the back treads here and untap them and bring them out to about here. And this will allow you to bring out what will become his legs to about here, so that way you can take his knees here and bring them down, and they will tap into place. And then you want to take his feet here and bring them down. And as you bring them down, these silver things slide down. And then you do the same on the other side.
That's it. You did it. It's a catch tab. Yeah.
Okay.
You just fold the leg around where it clips in. Pull down the feet.
Now you're going to take the front treads here, untap them and bring them down, and these tap into these green pegs into those holes right there. Now for the turret, you're gonna separate it from this tab from that hole right there, and also this tab goes into that hole right there.
They go into like clips.
So once these are separated, you now want to you do want to make sure that the turret is straightened out, so that way you can take these two halves of the turret and bring them out on these hinge joints here, where these orange ones are. And then you want to take his waist here and flip it up, and it does tap in. And then you're going to take this front part of the tank and flip it down, which will reveal his head. Then you just straighten out his head. And then you just want to take the barrel here and just collapse it in. Now you're going to take these things and shift these up, which will reveal his hands.
And we gotta move the camera up.
But for this arm here, you're gonna bring it out on this hinge joint, and you do want to like rotate. Okay. You can like have it like this, or you can rotate it all the way down to have it like that. And I think you can still bring it out with these things shifted up. Okay. You can still bring this out with this forearm piece shifted up, but it only flips out to about here. And I like to leave this like this with the turret barrel here, like this.
Okay, that's enough. Okay, sorry y'all. I'm trying to transform this. Go ahead, Colton. I'm going to stop.
And for these treads here, you can have these like this if you want to, or you can bring these down so that they look like this. Or you can bring them back and tap them together so they look like that.
Huh.
But since this is Armada Megatron, I like to have these up because in the show he had treads for shoulders.
Okay.
And you're all done.
Okay. Oh, let me finish this. Sorry. Sorry. Okay, I need to go get a flashlight. There we go. Yes, you got it. Okay, I wasn't sure if it was in here. Okay, because he has light piping.
And he does have some light piping on the back of his head here, as you can see right there.
So his arms, the way that they separated is just like G2 Megatron. Just like G2 Megatron. And that's one of the similarities between this one and him. We'll do a size comparison here in a minute once we go through the articulation of this Megatron.
But as for the robot mode itself, it does look really great, but it's not an accurate Armada Megatron. It's a different style of Armada Megatron, because the barrel here of the turret doesn't end up on the side of his
Waist? Yes.
Well, the side of his hip here.
Okay.
Like on the show. But if you want to make this look like it's on the side of his hip here, the way you do it is you would bring this back on that hinge joint, bring his arm out, rotate it up so that way it's sideways, rotate his elbow around, and then rotate his wrist, and now you can act like it's on the side of his hip. The only problem is that you lose the elbow joint if you want to do that.
Yeah, I can see what you're talking about because this is still attached to his arm. Yes. It's still attached to his arm.
And for the robot mode here, he does have... First, I gotta bring up the camera. But for the robot mode here, he does have some silver paint on his chest with some black here, and so is the bottom here, and you do have some purple here and some orange here, some silver on his waist, and some silver on these like shin pieces here, and you do have some silver paint on his elbows here, along with some purple, and you do have some purple Decepticon symbols on his shoulders. And his head sculpt does have some purple on his face and some like teal paint on his head. And my only problem with him in robot mode is I wish that these horns here, or antlers, were picked out in paint, because in the show and also on the original Armada toy, these were picked out in some paint, and even on the original one, but here he does not have any paint.
So what about the articulation? What can he do?
So for the articulation, head is on a swivel, and he can look up and down. And for his arms, they can rotate all the way around on a soft ratchet, but they do get hindered by these treads here. But you can move them out of the way, like I already showed you. But they can move out on a soft ratchet. You do have a elbow swivel, a ratcheted elbow, and a wrist swivel. And this arm can also move, but the cannon arm here does hinder it a little bit. He does have a waist swivel, which can only move side to side. And these side skirts can move out of the way, but not the front skirts. But his legs can move forward only about there, but they can move back a lot better on a ratchet. They can move in and out on a ratchet. And he does have a thigh swivel, which is here. Ratcheted knees that only bends about that far. And that's it.
No ankle pivot or anything like that?
No.
No, I don't think so. Oh, there's a little. Not much. A little. Not much.
Well, he does have a little bit of ankle pivot.
A little. 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 So, this is a size comparison right here with the G2 and that Megatron compared to the other Megatron. They are almost the same height. And the way, I don't have my pen on me. That's okay, I will use this. The way that the arms transform, I thought was, I said, wait a minute. I said, that looks familiar. I said, they kind of got some ideas off of this one and transformed them over to this one here. As far as the arms. Now the treads are totally different. The way that they made that happen. That there's just a couple little cues that I see from this one that originally was in this one first. That's my opinion.
Oh, and one more thing I forgot to tell y'all. You can have him hold his little purple gun, but by itself or when it's separated into two in both hands. And I also forgot to tell y'all that he also comes with a little collector's card, which I do have. I just have to look for it.
Just have to find it. So, with this Megatron and that Megatron, even the tanks are almost perfect scale as far as width and length. And that's another thing. And then I looked at the cannons and saw how the cannons were in the middle, pretty much of both of them on the turret, and the arms transformed the same. Except for they did a little bit different right here. But as far as the elbows and the shoulders, it's the same. The exact. And let me see here. Hey. Oh.
You have to push on his head.
You gotta push. And he talks. Okay, go ahead.
But obviously, this is supposed to be a recreation of the Armada Megatron, not the Generation 2 one.
Right. Well, I'm a Generation 2. I'll just take him out now. Because the spotlight's not on him. It's on him. So, I think that's about everything for this one here. I think we covered everything. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I think we have.
So,
Oh, and you can still plug some mini-cons onto him using the mini-con ports in robot mode.
okay. And I think we're going to say that's about it.
And final thoughts of this figure. The tank mode looks really great. It's not show accurate like in the Armada cartoon. It's totally different. Because, like I said, in the show he was an H tank. And the robot mode does also look cool. But again, it's not Armada accurate. It's, again, totally different. And my other problems with him in robot mode is I wish the antlers here were painted in. And also, I kind of wish that they would have do something to have this attached to his side hip here, instead of just having it attached to his arm. Because in the show, he had this attached to the side of his hip here, not on his arm. But everything else about it still looks really cool.
Looks good. Looks good. Good amount of articulation. Good color scheme. Good color scheme. And I think that is about it, unless there's something else you want to add.
Oh, one last question I do want to ask. The only remolding that they did was they just remolded the head in robot mode. And the rest of it is basically the same as the original Combiner Wars Megatron.
Megatron was originally a Walter P-38, and then after Transformers movie and stuff like that, and as different iterations started, they just went Megatron crazy with tanks.
Because they don't want him to become a gun no more.
I don't know. I don't know. Hey, I got a question. I have a question for y'all. Which Megatron do you think is the best, and which one looks better? The G2 Megatron, which, if I'm right, this was a little start of a crossover between Transformers and G.I. Joe. Or this Megatron, which is from Armada? Armada. So, anyway, we are going to let it go with that. And that's all I have to say. Colton, take us on out of here.
So, I think that's about it. So, there you have the review of Transformers Combiner Wars Armada Megatron. And if you like this video, give us a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And if you want to check out some other videos you may have missed, there's a playlist set up on my YouTube channel for any videos you may have missed.
Thanks for watching.
So I think that's about it. So thanks for watching.